G'day, my name is Trish and I'm Lego Creations, and today I made a Lightning McQueen, except he's fused with 3 different supercars, and I think it's pretty sick. He's also a lamp if you want it by your bedside if you get scared of the dark. So join me in today's video and we will be making this together if you choose to follow along or just watch the whole process. So starting off, we will get a photo of Mr. McQueen himself up, and then using some leftover balls of clay from my Minion video, we can hammer it into a car shape, wrapping it in foil, and then covering it in armature wire to form a good basis. Now this came back to bite me because hindsight's 2020 and we don't really have 2020 vision. So what we do get is a little bit of wire poking out, as you can see there, and it's very frustrating in the whole sculpting process. So we can go ahead and add these LEDs that I forgot to add, which made my life also a living hell. So a lot of this creation was just a living hell. And then we can go ahead and cover it up in some clay to get the front of the car. So getting into this, I do print out a piece of paper later of my little car, my little DIY car. As you can see, it's coming up now. And we are just attaching the clay all around with the wires of the LED sticking out, 2 headlights on either side. Now that piece of paper consists of the front of a Porsche 911, the middle part including the Mercedes AMG 1, followed by the rear end of the car being a Ferrari F40. So covering it all in clay, and we could get to work on the front of the car, but we will just be getting the main shape as we're going to cover it in CosClay later, just hollowing out where the headlights will be, this nice circular frame where we can then go ahead and attach the rear end to get this little lift, and it's starting to look more like Lightning McQueen. Cutting out some little semicircles for where the wheels will go, and then we can go ahead and coat it in the red clay later on, just smoothing everything out and using this paint bottle to get the wheel size. Now with our Lightning McQueen out of the oven, we have the proper good looking start to the creation. It's starting to look like a Lightning McQueen shape. We are using red clay, just in case I miss any spots when I paint, it's fine because it's red anyways. So making it nice and thin because I don't want to bulk up the car too much, as we already got the base shape. We can coat the entire model in some bake and bond so that the soft clay adheres much better to the baked clay. Just slathering it on with a brush now, we can go ahead and coat it in the red CosClay, which is very flexible by the way, so that's why I chose it, plus it's the only color clay I have. Now we can cut out the sockets for the headlights with the LEDs, and I don't check if they work through the whole model, but as you can see by the beginning of the video, they do, so that's pretty lovely. We can go ahead and cut out the other headlight, and then we can start covering the back of the car. So the back is gonna again be like the F40, which also had a similar bottom rear to the original Lightning McQueen design, and I always just thought he was a Corvette. But I wanted to take it one step further and make my own model car of Lightning McQueen himself. So adding the little curves and edges to the front of the hood that we see in the Porsche 911 before cutting out the frame for the windshield and the side windows. Moving on, we can start defining the edges of the car itself. Now I don't know, I sort of took a bit of artistic license from the original car frame, and I just thought this looked very cool. Again, this car does not exist in real life, so I just took free reign of the entire project. Now I'd like to take the time in this part of the video, actually, to just thank you to all of you who are watching this. It really helps to boost my confidence to keep bringing out more creations like this. I have my best video, which I still have around 700 minutes to edit through. It is huge, it's about 3 models in one, and I can't wait to bring it to you guys. But just a huge thanks to those who subscribe, even just dropping a like, that really helps. Commenting, any criticism is much appreciated, and I really just appreciate you guys here on YouTube for all the support I get. So back with the creation, we've bulked up the frame and made all the edges super sharp, and we can start adding the front exhaust that we see in the Mercedes AMG with the little fin, which I'm not too sure what its purpose is, before cutting out the spoiler of the F40 that will fit on the rear. Baking it with a heat gun here so that we can jam it in without it drooping and losing its shape. Just getting some little coils of clay around the edges so that we can sort of jam it in there, making it a much solid connection. Then we can go ahead and sand everything, and if you're smart you would have used low to high grit, unlike me where I just used higher grit, leaving this scratchy surface, which I highly regret. And then we can start working on the base of the car, just mixing this in with some Sculpey, which was the grey clay that sits underneath the whole model. So it's CosClay and the Sculpey, which makes it a bit firmer. And I'm just adding anything I please, really, anything mechanical. I don't really know if it makes sense, probably doesn't, but you're not going to be able to see it at all, so it's a large waste of time, except for the dual exhausts over there. But yeah, no, other than that, we can start working on the wheels, getting 4 equal shapes of clay. Then we can go ahead and make them into circles, and these will be the rims, where we can carve out all the details using my sculpting tools. And then we're going to add this little black dot in the middle. These will get painted later on, and then wrap the entire wheel in the rubber that is the black clay. Now off to the painting. So starting with some red, it's a pretty solid red. I do come back with a darker red, covering everything, painting the wheels too, hitting them with black as well, and then hitting everything that needs to be hit with the gunmetal and silver here, such as the top exhaust and anything on the rear of the car. So I'll let you guys enjoy some painting. Getting a little bit of a break from my voice there, which either I'm offended if you don't. Actually, I'm offended if you do want it, that little break there, and I'm also offended if you don't, because it's my editing style, so I hope you guys enjoyed it either way. We can go ahead and outline all of the details that I've been painting on with the gradients, the rusties, logos, and the yellow outline around the headlights. We're going to cover the windshields and everything with some UV resin, and we can paint on the F40 details on the back, which I think were a really nice touch, selling the whole 3 different cars look. So we can go ahead and use some XPS foam, using my DIY foam cutter, and using some hot glue to attach sandpaper, which is a really good asphalt, which we will paint. It gets this really rough abrasive surface, which obviously is used for sanding. And then we can cut out the little slots where our wires will fit through, and I made it hollow on the inside underneath so that I can store the wiring, and the battery pack has a little section at the back of which it sits through, as you can see that little opening there. We can go ahead and attach the wheels. Now the front 2 wheels, now McQueen is a front wheel drive, so his 2 front wheels will be turning, causing the back to drift, getting a lot of understeer or oversteer. Not too sure. For an F1 fan, I don't know all too much. So we can coat the headlights in a thick layer of UV resin, getting them bulked up, and then we're off to the finishing touches. So wiring it up, we will add some burnout because he is on some asphalt, so just going to use some cotton balls for that. And we can jam the battery pack in place, fix all the wires. The lights do work, thankfully, and we're adding the burnout now. So just before we get into the reveal shots, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I should make next, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. bye.